UFC on ABC 5, and we had Topuria versus Josh Emmett go at it yesterday. That was the main event. Oh, what a bloodbath. Only for one of them, though.
Yeah, so there's some things about this fight that I mean, it was very fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a fun fight. It was like one of those things where, all right, Topouria, how good is he? Right, this is his first crack at the top five. Um, like, what are we going to learn from this? Right? Um, I didn't learn a ton, if I'm being honest. I was hoping to
Really?
learn more. Yeah, because everything
Hmm.
matchup wise, this is a pretty good matchup for Ilia. Just because I think you know he's been caught on the left side, right? Um, the high kick, the left high kick that I think Jai Herbert landed on him. That side is his kind of weak side defensively. So you give him someone who's not going to attack from that side, like Josh Emmett. You give him someone who um, isn't going to attack his legs, like Josh Emmett. And this is kind of a tailor-made matchup for Topouria to get into the top five. I'm not saying it's going to
Which
be
now he should
easy,
be.
which now he should be. Yeah, I mean it's clear he's a top five guy, but I didn't really get anything answered in this fight for me.
And coming in, Ilya was ranked ninth, right? Josh Emmett ranked fifth.
Hmm.
Look, and the thing is that even though we could say Josh Emmett didn't really attack the left side very much,
Hmm.
that's the side where he did land a head kick.
And that's the
That's the
thing. It's
side
like
where he countered with the left hook, and Emmett did land that a few times. If you take a
twice.
look at after the first round,
Hmm.
Topuria's right side of his face was red.
Yeah.
That's the side that he kept on getting tagged on, right? Um,
Hmm.
I feel
See,
though like Josh Emmett is still a step up in competition from what Topuria
oh
had been
yeah,
facing.
yeah.
So he still answered some questions for me. I do think that he belongs with the elite fighters within the division.
Hmm.
I know that something was going on between him and Paddy Pimblett for a while, and he was calling out Paddy Pimblett. Look, we all love
No.
watching Paddy Pimblett fight, right? But Topuria, let's be real here, would probably piece him up,
Yeah.
would tear him apart. It would not be good
They're not even in
for
the same
Paddy.
weight class, and it doesn't even matter. Topouria would still put it on him.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
So, but this answers some questions for me. I do think that he belongs amongst the elite of the division.
mhm.
I think that he jabbed Josh Emmett's face off in the beginning.
And look at this
Um,
picture.
yeah, and he did such a good job because he knows that Josh Emmett has this lunging right hand. That's really all he
Yeah.
has,
The
right?
atom bomb.
So
Yeah.
he's chopping away at the lead leg, so he can't really step on it too much when he lunges. And two, he has these quick steps moving back. So as Emmett was lunging forward, Topuria would step back and
Yeah.
roll off that right and come back with the right of his own and with a left. So
Yeah.
it was a good game plan, I thought, that
Oh, it was a
Topuria and the team had
fantastic
going
game
in.
plan. Yeah, it was a fantastic game plan. And shout out Region says I live in Jacksonville and I never saw any promotion for the card. I had no idea the card was in Jacksonville until the weigh-in.
How far is Daytona from Jacksonville? That's what I want to know because Rich might be right next
Yeah.
door. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So that is kind of weird though too because I woke up Saturday morning and I
Yeah.
was like, let me see what time the fights start. Sometimes they start early. I thought it was I didn't know where this was. And then that was at 8:36 and I was like, "Oh, they started 6 minutes ago." That's great. That's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
there was some weird like lack of promotion on this card. Um, but the big thing in this fight that I saw, you mentioned a few things that I saw too, but the big thing, and you can see it in this, is look at Regent says Daytona is an hour and a half away from me.
Okay.
Do you want to go catch a Street Fighter tournament? Um, but go say hi to Rich. But you look at his left shoulder, where his left shoulder is, and you look how his where his chin is. Obviously, you
Yep.
can't really see his chin, but you can tell where it is.
Tucked.
Uh, that left shoulder was up, and his chin was underneath it the entire first like 3 or 4 rounds. Later on, maybe midway in the fourth round, that shoulder was down. Right, he's tired. His hands a little bit lower. That's when Emmett had the opportunity. I just would have liked to see like you said, Topuria's game plan was really fantastic. Like you said, take out the lead leg so he can't plant on it. You saw Emmett stumble on it multiple times when he was trying to throw that big overhand right.
Yep.
Um, take out that lead leg, jab him to pieces so he can't even start to throw it. If he does start to throw it, the leg's compromised. But the jab will stop him from even trying to throw it for the most part.
Yep.
Um,
He stumbled him. I want to say it was the
yeah,
third round too, or
yeah, you heard
fourth.
him.
He caught him with a stiff jab, and you see Emmett kind of take a step back with this high guard, like damn man, like and then Ilia comes in and lands a couple more bombs.
Yeah,
But you know what Emmett does have?
yeah, fight-ending power and a
He
ton
has
of
that
heart.
he has that dog in him, bro.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
got that dog in him, man. No
Yeah,
matter what was being thrown
dude,
his way. Oh my god.
that
Look at that. That's a classic picture.
that fifth round, his coaches are like, "Hey, man, we need a finish. Like, it's make or break here. You have to you cannot be on the back foot anymore because the jab kept him on his back foot the entire time. You cannot be on the back foot anymore. You have to go forward, put him on his back foot, and throw with him. When you're in the pocket with him, he can't stand the power. You need to go out there and get a finish. Basically, the first 45 seconds of that fifth round, I had goosebumps because Emmett was like running at him, trying to close that distance, and he caught him.
With his
That's when he
hands down.
and that's when he finally caught him with the left hook. And it was like the left side has been open. If we look at even there, look at his right hand. Look at Topuria's right hand.
Yep.
The left shoulder is up, but his whole I mean it's Topuria's right side, but it's your left side if you're fighting him, right? That's the side you need to attack him on. And he just I mean he couldn't up until that moment, but I would have liked to see if I'm Emmett's corner, obviously we know what Josh Emmett does. He shuffles and he throws the overhand. Maybe a left hook to the body. You know what I mean? The
Yep.
jab sometimes is there. Sometimes he jabs. But against a guy like Topouria, like you said, the way he moves backwards, that's a lot of things. A lot of the time in MMA, um, because the cage is so big, you can really just like move people back. If you a lot of times the first layer of defense is just stepping backwards. It's never really angling out. People will end their combos angling out, but rarely do people, unless you're Izzy or someone like that, you don't see people moving laterally that often in MMA.
Yep.
And man, just a simple like jab, a double jab or a jab feint or something to get through that first layer of defense. Then you throw the overhand right because you've already gone through that backup period from Topouria.
Yep.
That would have been interesting to see. The lead like a lunging left hook off of a jab maybe. The game plan, it's not like if you're watching Topouria, you can see at least hey, and I'm not saying it's going to work 100%, and like all you have to do this is beat him. Obviously, it's not easy like that, but at least you can see from his previous fights, hey, look, this seems like the game plan to beat him. I'm not a fucking expert, you know. Like there should have been some more effort there instead of the typical shuffle overhand right, shuffle overhand right.
But let's be real here, because that's what's gotten Josh Emmett to be top 5 in the division.
Oh
And
yeah,
when's the last time you've seen Josh Emmett change that?
I know.
And going
Yeah,
into the fights, they're like, "Well, Josh Emmett has that right hand,"
yeah.
and then even Josh Emmett in interviews, he's like, "Well, I got my right hand," and everybody talks about
Yeah.
his right hand. And you know what? He lands that right hand, and the majority of the time they're out. Hey, I'll say this though: props to Topuria because he took
Mhm.
some shots too, man. He ate some
Yeah, he
shots.
did.
What was it? Was it the third round where they were trading a little bit, going back and forth?
Yeah, and
Was it
that's
the
when
fourth?
ultimately Topouria hurt him real bad in the fourth. Um,
Yeah,
but but yeah, it took Emmett kind of to open up like that. You could tell he was frustrated. That's got to be a frustrating. Anytime you see someone get beat by the jab in MMA, you know it's just like the most frustrating loss ever. Because if
gotta
you
be.
can't get past that jab, it's like what do I do?
Yeah,
you know?
Regen saying Topuria's nasty, man. I never expected this from the dude that was beefing with Patty a year ago. Hey, I think we all knew Topuria was good,
Yeah.
but the
Mhm.
question, like you said, remained just how good. Is this somebody that's going to be challenging for a title here anytime soon?
Yeah.
And I think that with the fight yesterday, he showed, hey, I belong with the elite. Now, who's left in front of him? You have Arnold Allen, you have Brian Ortega, you have Max Holloway, you have Yair Rodriguez, right?
I
You
think
have the champion Volkanovski.
Yeah, I think he probably ends up fighting. They're gonna try to capitalize on the hype on him. I think they want to market him. He'll
Max.
probably he'll probably either face no, they won't make him fight Max. I don't think because
No.
they don't want to see him lose. Um, I think he'll probably fight the loser if Volk beats Yair, they might fast track him
Mm,
potentially, just because who else does Volk fight?
yeah.
Um, that'll probably be what happens. If
And
if
that's a good
Yair
point.
beats Volk, they'll probably do a rematch because he's a long-standing champ, and that's what they do. And then maybe he'll fight Max. I don't know.
That's a
But
really good
Max is
point
going up in
because
weight. He says.
if you put Topuria up against a Max Holloway and Max
Mhm.
Holloway wins, what do? Now you just
Yeah, they
shot
just
down the
killed another
shooting
guy.
star Topuria, and
Yeah,
then you're not gonna do another fight after the trilogy of Max Holloway versus Volkanovski, or
yeah.
do you? I don't
Or do
know,
you?
but
I
honestly,
think
I'll
Max
watch
is
the
saying he's
fight
going to
over and
go up
over again.
to. Max is saying he's going to go up to lightweight, which I don't know if that actually happens. But shout out Omar comes in saying is Emmett the less successful Hendo? Very similar. The difference is Hendo would at
Ooh,
least mix in his wrestling a little bit more.
yeah,
Where that is another thing that Emmett could have done a little bit more in this fight.
level
Just
change.
threaten takedowns, just threaten them because that's the reason it was so successful. The reason Hendo was more successful was kind of two things because he did have that nuclear right hand, right, the overhand right, the H bomb.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Ask Bisping.
ask Bisping, ask anybody who fought him.
Yeah,
Uh, but the way he set it up
Bisping
was,
probably doesn't remember honestly.
yeah, well, he's
He
been
probably
shown it millions of times. But the thing that Emmett would do or Hendo would do was either he'd throw the step up inside leg kick, right? He would do that little shuffle, step up inside leg kick like Volkanovski does now, and then that would set up the overhand right. Or he would threaten the takedown. And you saw when Habib dropped Connor, the only reason he dropped Connor with that overhand was because the entry is the same as his level change. And with if you're fighting Habib, you have to be ready for that level change. So as soon
Mm,
as you see him drop for that level change, you're like, hands down. I'm trying to drop this or stop this takedown. But then he popped right back up, throws the overhand. If Emmett was threatening with the takedown, at least the entry or feinting it more, committed to it a couple more times because I think he was feinting it. But it's like, why am I going to bite on your feint if you're never actually going to commit to it? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So he would have had a little bit more success, I think, if he either mixed in leg kicks that can lead to the overhand right, or shot for some takedowns because that can also lead to it. Omar also says Ilia is going to sit out or has to take another fight. Yair versus Volk is going to be a rematch if Yair wins. Exactly. Volk going campaign for the Islam rematch. That's another good point. If
mm,
Volk beats Yair, he'll probably try to get back the Islam fight. But with new fresh blood in the division, he might be like, cool, I'll just defend my belt again.
yeah.
You never know.
Make some money,
And
cement your
shout out
legacy.
Blunderbub.
What
What's
up,
up, fellas?
Blunderbub?
Didn't catch this UFC, but I was devastated to learn after watching last Saturday's that I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, honestly, go back this UFC card. The whole main event was fucking banger after banger after banger. It was a really good card. The prelims were kind of meh, but the main card was really good.
Yeah. Omar saying Emmett landed some solid calf kicks because Ilya was only focused on defending the head.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him do it more, because he
More,
did
yeah.
he did open up to it early in the
That's a really
fight, and
good
then he
point.
kind of just dropped it. Um, and then Regen says low kick overhand is my favorite combo in the UFC games.
We still have to play.
I know. I'm waiting. Just let me know.
We still have to play. Okay, we'll play. We'll
Yeah,
play.
but
All
but
right.
yeah, it was a good fight. I don't think it should have got fight of the night. I'm not a huge fan of like a pretty one-sided beatdown with someone being really tough getting you a fight of the night. I thought there was two other fights that could have got fight of the night, um, which we can move on to if you want.